Yo, we back. Straight to it. Let's get this money. Okay, good morning, y'all. Last week we talked about why we believe people don't involve themselves in the market, primarily, to summarize, because they don't believe. And then we took some time to check out some charts. And over the last week, G had some successful plays, which we will review, and we'll also look at some potential plays for the upcoming week. Let's bring the man of the hour in. What's up, G?
What's good with you? What's good? What's good?
How you living?
I'm good, bro. Like you said, I had a good week, which felt good because all the work we've been putting in over the last month or so, is starting to pay off this quick. So it just got me even more excited to keep going down this path to try to get more people to understand that this is something that they can do too, and just to see how far we really can go with this. So I had a great week and ready to cap it off today with a little overview.
Mm-hmm. Good. Good morning, Love Life. What's up? And G, I'm going to challenge you. You highlighted the last month, which is true. Like
Mhm.
we've hit like I think our current apex. But he says that because we're all taking a stock course. We're kind of some of us are done the modules, but there's a whole lot of learning to do. But
Mhm.
we were able to learn at this rate because of the 7, 8+ months we put in before the course.
That's
You know,
true.
so
True.
it's definitely been much longer than a month. I don't want people to get confused by that. I was actually talking to my mother yesterday and like talking to her like real basic trading terms, but there's like so much you got to go through just to be able to understand the
To talk
language.
that language, right?
Yeah, and I was struggling how to help her without her understanding like the basics of the game.
Hmm.
So I think it's important to highlight that too.
Yeah, and that's a
Um,
good point. I think to your point, we really started looking at the stock market as a whole earlier this year, probably around the time Corona had just started, and that's
mhm,
why last week we all looked at some charts, and it was like because we started when Corona was like really ramping up, we
mhm.
missed a great opportunity to make some money in the process. So Um, yeah, I think, excuse me, I think as we go through these plays that I made this week and even some that we may make in the coming weeks, it is important to know that you do need a foundation of just the terminology, learning how to read charts, which is all available on the internet for free. So it's all
Yeah,
about how much you want to learn and how quickly you want to learn.
exactly. And I also to go even deeper, like we've worked hard in very unique ways to get to the position to where we even have the financial capital to invest. You feel me?
Hmm.
Like you can start out small. Like you can always start out small. But it's always easier with the knowledge if you have more to invest. And I'm not
Hmm.
talking tens of thousands, millions, and XYZ, but you done been from DC to Maryland to Germany to Texas to
Right.
Jersey, um,
To Seattle and back.
Seattle, yeah, duh. Seattle, Virginia. You done been in like 18 different states to put yourself in a position as a professional to where you can start to
Hmm.
put your 9 to 5 for for your personal gains. So it's I just wanted to highlight that it's much deeper than a month. And then even with that too, like we all it sounds cliche, but we all went through a mindset shift, you know?
True.
And that
True.
I think that was really the game changer, like a baby opening his or her eyes for the first time.
Hmm. And
Starting to
realizing that this 9 to 5 is this, but if you look around, you got so much more opportunity to grow your stockpile of knowledge, of money, or whatever it is you're trying to grow. So yeah, it's definitely more than your 9 to 5, but your 9 to 5 can help set you up to be able to do all the other things that you want to do in your life.
exactly. And
Hmm.
people are so anti 9 to 5 who don't have a 9 to 5 set up yet.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like
Right.
I'm anti 9 to 5 definitely, but that's because I done been through the game and kind of hit more or less a peak in my field. I can go higher to like principal and stuff, but like
Mm-hmm.
I'm not interested in that. But I'm also very, very, very good at what I do in my 9 to 5,
Right.
as are you. So I think people are so against it without taking that step first. Because if you don't have a family trust or something like that, or you're not hustling, which is the ultimate risk, I don't really know where else you
You
would
got to
get
start
there.
somewhere. Right. And I think it's important to look at the 9 to 5 as just a tool in your tool belt. That's not
Yeah.
the only thing you do, but it's something that you probably do have to do realistically, unless you, like you said, you come from money, you get money in a way that may not be the safest way or the most legal way, or um, you're an athlete, which some people are able to go that route, but most people can't. So you got to start somewhere. The 9 to 5 is definitely the place to start, but it shouldn't be the place that you stop. So
And that would be good for KG to speak on, because most of the athletes, especially where the most black ones go to the NFL, they blow it. They
a
blow it.
couple years after they stop playing.
Yeah, no kind of financial literacy at all, you know?
Right.
So we can go on about that all day, but let's get to the bread. So I see Pizzle. What's up, Pizzle?
What's going on?
It was good.
How you living?
Not bad, man. One day at a time. Just cooling. Just happy about the stock market stuff. Starting to put the pieces together, so everything is coming along.
Uh-huh.
What's up?
One
Yeah.
of these days gonna get you that 25 cent a photo algorithm.
Hey, that's it. And then automated. Everything is about automation, yo. That's the end goal of everything. Just to automate.
Facts.
Yeah.
I don't know what this man doing, but it's good, right? He making breakfast.
What's going on, y'all?
What's up?
Yeah, I was backstage, so I thought I would get something to eat.
Hey man, but that's the beauty of it. You can make the bread while you're doing what you want. You know?
Facts.
And it's also a little mini
Yeah.
picture of no excuses. You may not be talking too much, but you can listen and learn while you're eating.
Mm-hmm.
Jump in the mix. And then we got a special guest, I don't know what he is, a principal now or assistant principal, something like that. Mr. Super Educator, Mr. Super Stock Researcher, Devin. It's good, bro.
Yo, what's up, world? What's up, homies, man?
Dev. It's good.
Yo, bruh, Malcolm, I just want to show my appreciation, because this is love right here, man. Not just having me on, but what you're doing. This is love right here, man.
Appreciate it, but I mean, it ain't just me. We all on one team. I know this is my baby, but Game 7 all about sports, so we don't play tennis. Right?
Mm-hmm.
My mentality has switched up since I started plugging in with y'all this summer, man. It's all about growth now, and that's what I'm here about, man. Growth.
And Dev, I think you got to give yourself some credit too, because I say at least with the stock game discussions that we've been having in our group chats, it went to a different level once you came in the fold. Like we were doing it, but you came in and added your input and your perspective, and it just went to that next level. So you definitely been a part of this too, and we appreciate that.
Appreciate that, man.
Yeah.
And those have been open invites. Like you didn't ask. Like somebody thought, like, yo, we should add Devin to this. Boom, got Devin. Then with this, was like, yo, we should add Devin to this. Boom, add Devin. So that's a little picture of always adding value, and you'll start to make opportunities come your way. All right, so let's jump into it, though. What's the first one we're gonna look at, G?
Let me share my screen because I already drew up the charts. So I'll share my screen and we'll work through it.
Can you?
I think so. Select screen. All right, can y'all see it?
Oh yeah. Okay.
All right. So we'll start with Fastly. Fastly is it's definitely a tech company. They do like cloud computing, in that same field as maybe like a Slack or some of those other tech companies. But I think a few weeks ago on this Sunday call that we always have, around November 4th. So I'll back the chart up to start to November 4th. If you see this blue arrow, that was when a couple of days before that is when we called out Fastly, or I called out Fastly based on some things I saw in the chart. So if we zoom out, and Malk, you being the teacher, if I start going too fast, let me know and we can dive deeper into some of these concepts. But if you look at this chart for Fastly, you can see a couple of things. Just keep in mind that we didn't know anything that was going to happen after this blue arrow.
Can you make the chart full screen, G?
Let's see. Boom. Better?
Nah, I still see like Benzinga, and it's a little chart at the bottom.
That's crazy.
Unless it's only sharing a screenshot.
I got the whole chart.
You got it on dual screens?
Now that's the only thing I got up.
Okay.
Let me see.
Stop sharing it and try to reshare it.
All right. All right. Now you can see it, right? All right, cool. So again, what I was saying was basically when we talked about this for the first time, it was right before November 4th, which is this blue arrow. So you guys got to remember that everything that's happened after that, it didn't happen yet. Let me see if I can even move it back some, just to take that out. All right, so this is the chart that we were looking at back then. So as we look at the charts, the first thing we want to look for are any patterns. And here, it's a very clear pattern here. If you look at some of this action here, you can see it's kind of like a roller coaster doing the same thing over and over. So we call that a channel. It's in a channel where it's going to hit this bottom level of resistance. And I move that down a little bit. Let me raise it up. Resistance is about here, meaning that that's support. It's called support. Typically, as the stock goes down, it'll hit this support level. And based on this channel that we see, that support level will catch the stock and then send it back up. And as it's going up, it's going to hit this resistance. The resistance is a similar concept. As it hits that level of resistance, typically, based on this channel that we see, it should start turning back downward. So as I was looking at this chart, that was the first pattern that I saw, this clear channel. And we had how many revolutions? We had up and down is one revolution. It went up, went a little higher, but ultimately it came back down to that support. That was a second revolution. And then you got a third revolution. And in our learnings, what we found is typically you don't have more than 3 revolutions. So if you look at the chart, after that third revolution, it took off to an all-time high. So it went from $97, you can see over here, all the way up to 131. And then something happened. And at the time I was looking at this chart, I didn't know what happened, but you can see it dropped from about 122 all the way down to about $89. So that was the first thing that tipped me off, because one thing I've learned in my research is when you get these big gaps, most times, or a lot of the time, you'll come back up and you'll fill that gap, which means that at some point in the future, this stock will come back to this gap and trade there. So we went down from that all-time high, then it sold off more, down to a completely new level of support. because again, we looked at this around November 2nd, November 1st. So it had hit this new bottom and it started to turn around. So now me knowing that previously it traded within this channel, it went to an all-time high, and then it dropped all the way down. I was thinking, worst case scenario, we get back into this channel. Maybe we go back up to 97 from 60. So you got about $25 to play with there. And best case scenario, you fill this gap and you go anywhere from 94 up to the all-time high of 131. So I'm looking at this stock at $60, saying this is definitely a play. So on November 4th, as the stock started to turn around and trend upwards, I said, let me get in here. Let me get in at the ground level and see where we can go with it. And as you see, after that, you started to get this positive trend, this bullish trend over the course of about 2 weeks. So when I say last week I made about $3,000, this was a big part of that, because we went from around 69 all the way up to 83. And I think I got 2 options, 2 calls with break evens of 85. But I want to say my my expiration dates were in 2021. So I had a lot of time value. So as this started to go up, that time value started making me some money, and I'm approaching the break even point. So both of those calls, I think one is at about 90% profit. So that means that whatever I paid, let's say I paid $500 for my option, it's made me roughly $450 in 2 weeks, almost 100% return on profit. Then the second one, which had a slightly higher break even point, was at about 30 to 40% profit right now. And the good thing is, tomorrow morning, I got 2 options. I could sell and take that profit, or because I know what I believe and I see that it's trending in the direction I thought, I can watch it and I can ride this up as high as it's going to go. So that's when you do your research and you chart it out and you see you got a plan, that's when you can be comfortable with maybe not taking that 20% profit or that 50% profit. You watch it to make sure that nothing goes wrong. But as long as it's going with what you thought, you can ride this up until it hits your target. So right now, my target is about $97, $98. If this stock hits that, I'm out. And that's probably going to be 200, maybe a 250% profit in a month, maybe. So would anybody want to add anything that they see? Any comments?
Let's do this. And I know well, now they left. There's a couple people watching, so if y'all got any questions watching, drop it in the chat and we can address it. But nothing for me in regards to what you just said. I know that's probably a lot for people who don't get it, but that's also why you got to at least study the language so you can understand what's going on. But just to revisit it for people, I can't see the numbers straight, but can you trace the support line again that you had, the first one?
The first one. So this first one is here. Support was at about $75. And wait, before we go on, out for anybody watching and anybody who watches this later, let's be clear that this is what we do every Sunday. This is our regular discussion. We definitely are going to start having more introductory classes and courses for people. So this is for you to see how we work, to see how we think through processes. But at some point, we will offer to everyone the opportunity to learn from day one and build from there.
Yeah, that's important to highlight too, because like something I'm big on is just showing people the process.
Mm-hmm.
Everything isn't always an event or a class. Like, it's just what we do. Like when we
Right.
did the workouts yesterday, like we got feedback and stuff, but like it's not a class. Like y'all just working out with us. But I mean,
Right.
it's important for people who don't get it. If we're gonna put ourselves out there, we should take the responsibility to eventually take that on. And
Mm-hmm.
that's the whole movement. Like as we get better, help other people get better.
Right.
So I don't see no comments. You want to go to another one?
Yeah, so that's Fastly. And like I said, I see this happening over the next month or so. So I personally, I would say it's probably still some room for people to get in, but it has run some from where it started. So let me see if this is switch, because I'll go into the next one. Can y'all see this forward one? Or y'all still see Fastly? So I got to stop sharing my screen. Share screen. Go to,
I wonder why it's doing that.
I don't know. Can y'all see the forward one?
Hold on, I gotta put it in there. Forward, yeah.
All right. So Ford, this was another one that we called out a minute ago. I got 10/28 as the day that I enter into, that I bought a call, basically a couple calls, but I have been watching it since sometime in September or late September, early October. So if we back up before we entered into this call, sorry, my computer's tripping. You can see that it's a similar concept with this channel that we talked about with Fastly, where if you look at the chart, there's this pattern of support somewhere around $6.62 and resistance somewhere around $7.07. So you can see we did one revolution. We went up again, we broke resistance and went up to about 730, but then ultimately came back down to support. Then it got a little weird here, but it stayed within that channel before it broke up and then broke down past support. Then you started to see this upward trend somewhere around here. And I think I started really looking at Ford, paying attention to it right where this arrow is. That's why I put it there, because I saw it get into this channel and hit a peak. So I said, let me watch, because it looks like it's starting to do a bullish or have a bullish trend. And then over the next week or two, I saw it come back down. And this was actually, this arrow was where I entered my call, but it was also earnings. And one thing I've learned over the past couple months is you don't know what's going to happen after earnings. I think we talked about last week how I lost a lot of money on Uber because Uber had a horrible earnings, but the stock price flew up after and it's still up. So I think I bought a put right after earnings and Uber went up like $10 or $20 or something like that. So I lost all my money. But here, I kind of watched for the sentiment after the earnings. So I'm looking at Reddit, I'm looking in the comments in Webull, I'm looking at StockTwit, some of the different places that I check for news, not because it's always reliable, but at the very least, you can kind of see how people are thinking. And Ford's earnings were the best in a long time. Ford has a new CEO that a lot of people believe in. So you started to see this positive feeling about Ford. Also, Ford starting to get into EV, electric vehicles. Dev, one thing that you kind of put into the group way back when was this USPS contract. And Ford is in play for that. So it's a lot of positivity around Ford. So I figured with that, with some good earnings, that should carry the stock up. And you can see that right around this time, I had drew this chart, and this is where I thought it would go. And lo and behold, from October 28th, when I bought in, it stayed within this same channel. And now Ford is up. It got as high as like 8. I want to say maybe It broke 9. Actually, it did. Yeah, it broke 9 one day. But now we're right at 874. So again, I got a couple of calls. I think one expires in April of next year and one in January. And I'm just watching it because right now I can get out with my profit, or I can wait to see what happens with USPS. I can see if anything else comes out positive to take it over that $9 mark. But I'm sitting in a good spot based on, again, a very, what I would say, textbook chart, channel, upwards breakout. And I caught it on, at that time, would look to be support. And it was turning upwards, so we earned on a turn there. It's going well. So I'll figure out over the next couple of weeks what I want to do. I may sell one of those options just to take some profit. And then I may keep one through the end of the year to see if they actually do get some of that USPS contract, because if that happens, then it's going to shoot up probably $1, at least $1 up into that $10 per share range.
All right. So also, I was talking to my mom yesterday, and I was telling her how you had said we was going back and forth about something in the chat. And he was like, coming from the guy who has to read every book and watch every video on the topic before he does something.
Mm-hmm.
And my mom is the same way. So she asked a question in the chat. So I'm gonna do like a 3-minute, like I guess like technical analysis essentials little lesson so that she can have a clue as we look at the rest of the jobs.
Okay. You want to share your screen so you can kind of drive?
Yeah.
All right, let me stop.
All right, so first thing, and I guess this is kind of for the audience too, but also for my computer stop tripping, for G and Kendall, as y'all starting to learn more about the art of teaching.
Mm-hmm.
So it's just important to understand how people think, right? So I think, come on, share. Boom. All right, so like me and G, we're definitely left-brained. Definitely left-brained, right? We're logical thinkers, math and science based. Like this ain't nothing but really math charts.
Mm-hmm.
And now you may want to zoom in just a little bit so people can see a little bit of the words.
I don't think I can zoom in.
Then that's fine.
Yeah, I can. Hold on. Because I'm still working on this. I just thought it was relevant. Here you go. All right. Get this off. Yeah, this gonna have to do. All right, so left brain, logical, math and science based, realistic, not really like I don't want to say not creative, but if it ain't real, it ain't real. Planned and orderly, prefers realism, all about facts, right? And then on the other side, you got other people, like a right brain person. Somebody I definitely think of is Ray. Ray is definitely right brain. Just is definitely right brain, and I think Kendall's probably right brain too, right? But emotional, not like out of control emotional, but their feelings will kind of guide them. They're artistic and creative, so like very abstract. So sometimes things that are straightforward don't make sense to people that don't think in straight lines. They have vivid imaginations. They occasionally can be absent-minded. Their imaginations in fiction, and they can tell you some stories, right? And on the left side, there's sequences, analyzing details, and you excel at linear analysis, like reading charts. The right hemisphere, they think across categories. They recognize themes and synthesize the big picture. That's kind of proof right there that it goes hand in hand. Big picture, get the details, the benefit of a team. But to get to the basic stock information. So there's three kinds of trends that you'll usually see with a stock. All right, so one, you'll have a channel, which G talked about. And in the channel, more or less, the stock goes up, down, up, down. Now, it may break a little below, may go a little above, but it's essentially an up and down. And once it goes up and down once, that's called a revolution. So this is two revolutions. And if it were to come back down, that would be a third revolution. And these things rarely go past three revolutions. So either here, here, or maybe here is going to go up or down, right? So a channel is staying right in that little pocket. Or you'll have an uptrending or a downtrending stock, which was the Ford one that G just showed. So uptrending is kind of like a channel, and not to be sarcastic, the same thing going up. And of course, once it breaks one of these, that channel is done. And there's some indicators, there's some things you can look at that will tell you, or not tell you, suggest to you that a change is coming. All right? Left brain and right brain relationship. I can only imagine some of y'all tough conversations. All right? All right, so that's an uptrending. And then we have downtrend. I didn't mean to make that red, but it is what it is. Downtrend, same thing. And when we're doing options, you can have a call, which you're estimating is going to be something like this. The stock is going up. Or you can have a put, which ideally is going to be something like this, where the stock is going down. I know that was fast, but it's on YouTube. Once it's over, it's automatically posted. And y'all can pause it and take some notes. So you got another one you want to share, G?
Yeah, I got one more that that we talked about, and this stock has been around in our discussions for a minute. So I'll share it. Let me share my screen again, and then after this, I'll talk about one that I'm looking at for the next couple of weeks. Then I'll be done. All right, so DraftKings, something I wish Kels was in here because DraftKings is Kels' baby. Kels been talking about DraftKings for months, and it's been a great call for him. But this one, the thought process behind DraftKings as far as charting has been different than the other ones I showed you, and you can kind of see that I'm looking at DraftKings from an even longer term perspective. If you look at DraftKings, I have one line that shows a longer trend. So from May until now, you can see that I would say support has been on this trend line that I'm kind of hovering over, outside of a little break in that action in the beginning of November. So this one, I'll be honest, you see this blue arrow, that's where I entered DraftKings. Granted, it's a red candle, which is bullish, or sorry, bearish, meaning that on this day, the stock price dropped. Overall, I believe that DraftKings is in a a bullish formation, so I think it's going up. One of those reasons is, like I said, one is general trend, and then two, this day was earnings. And again, I've stepped away from buying calls or puts before earnings and holding them after earnings, but I feel like you can get a very good feel for where the stock is going to go right after earnings. So it's the same thing as Ford. Kind of read around on the internet, got a feel for what people thought after that earnings, and it was very positive. A lot of people thought that, you know, sports are coming back. The NFL has done a pretty good job of dealing with COVID. Basketball starting in December. College football is making it work. We got talks of a vaccine, so that should bring sports back early on next year. So all of this tells me that after this big drop off, for whatever reason, once it turned, it's probably going back up there. So on this day, you know, maybe I entered this around 42 and out. This was actually, we didn't call this out on the video, but this is something that we talked about in the group chat this week. So this one was earlier this week. We got in around here thinking that at the very least it could go to 50. And again, lo and behold, by the end of the week, it had touched 50 and came back down a little bit. But even with it going to 50 or 49 and some change, I'm still a believer that it'll go higher, based on the sentiment, but then also based on the chart. So this is one that, again, I don't think the run is done. Maybe you have some consolidation, which means that maybe this stock will come back down to this support line, which is probably around $46 or $47. But I think ultimately you're going to see DraftKings go up into the 50s in the near future.
And G, I was looking, if you look at like around 54 in the previous uptrend, you see where I had those 2 red days?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I just want to highlight. So just because you get hit with a red day or two, it's still an up and down process as it goes up or down. And then what do you think was the catalyst for that last uptrend?
So down here?
Nah, one to the left. Now big run to the left.
Oh, here. I don't know. We would have to look. I would bet sometime around September.
Gotta be football season.
Okay.
What's the date?
Okay.
Yeah. What's the
September, like September 8th. So yeah, that might have been right when football season started. We had our first good week of games. Weren't a lot of positive COVID tests in the NFL. So yeah, that probably did take that up. And then I would be curious to know what happened here. One part of it might have been that it was just at an all-time high, which scared a lot of people. They start taking profits. But we had some.
Put the indicators on. Put the moving average and the Bollinger Band.
Let me see. I gotta exit out. Hold on.
All right.
So you want Bollinger?
If you can, you know, some people may be out there, they may not know what the indicators and the Bollingers are. If you want to just breeze over it really quickly for the people out there in TV land.
Got you.
Yeah, I'll let Malk do that. Let me bring him up.
All right, good.
TV land, bro?
I think he on TV. Well, we probably are on some TVs. But I'll show this once we get over to charting for this week. But more or less, the indicators are like, so speaking in the Game 7 way, so imagine the chart is like you're watching the play. You're watching the film, or for a more feminine example, you are, somebody help me. You're looking at something that's already happened, right? And you're going back and annotating it, right? So the indicators, these two that we're looking at, they're called chart overlays. So they're like drawings that go on top of the chart that give you a prediction of what's going to happen next. So this one G got now is called a moving averages. He's got a 10-day, 10, 50, and a 20. Is that it? It's hard to
20.
see.
Yeah.
So the 10-day moving average is the average cost of the stock over the last 10 days. Same principle for the 50 over 50 days. Same principle for the 20 over 20 days. And the 10-day
Is your orange line.
is, you can make it whatever color you want, but for G, it's the orange line, which I can't really see. I'm not sure if y'all can see. I can see them a little bit, but you're looking for, in this case, at the top of that, we were like, did the orange cross the other two? Turn down,
As it was going down.
Yes.
Yeah, it crossed the 21st, and then eventually it crossed the 50.
Yeah. So even like if you were a high risk investor, you would have got it at the top as soon as it turned. Right.
Mm-hmm.
Once you learn, like it's not really an official highly suggested move until it crosses the 20 and the 50, or like it's highly suggested once it crosses the 20. So it crossed the 20 at about 56, right? So you could have got
54.
54. Okay.
Yeah.
So if you were more risk averse, you could have waited for that cross, but you still could have ate from 54 down to whatever that is at the bottom.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
35.
If you were super conservative, you could have waited to cross is that the 20 or the 200?
This is the 50. The purple is 50.
50. Okay. If you were super conservative, you could have waited till across the 50, but you still could have ate from whatever.
Like 45 to 35. So
45.
still $10.
That's still $10, right? And it's not federal dollars, but I don't even know that good enough to explain it yet. But options kind of come with like, at a basic term, they're like bets with interest. Like G was talking about time value before. He didn't really do this, but for an uneducated person, stock wise, to get it, he bet that the stock was going to go up by January. But since it's already up in November and it's on pace to be way up by January, he gets like extra interest for making that bet. It's like when Bama plays East Dakota State and G gonna win by 50. It's already the second quarter. They up by 37. Like, all right, bro, you got this. That's more, what happened. But we'll take a deeper dive when we looking at the stocks for this week.
All right, so yeah, I think we're good here. Like I said, this is another one where I think in general, DraftKings is looking like the go-to company for sports betting. As more, states make that legal, I think DraftKings is going to be at least one of the faces of that realm. So it's probably a good stock to watch. And when it makes sense based on how you chart, go ahead and jump in, make some money and jump out. But again, for this one, right now we're at like 48, I think. 48.23. I see it potentially going up into the mid 50s before you see a big retracement. So just something to watch. So I'll stop sharing again. And the last one I want to talk about is one that I've watched. I might have called it out last week, but this is something I'm watching for the next couple of weeks. And I think it's still a good time if anybody is interested to jump back in. So hold on, let me share my screen. It's Slack. So I don't know, Malk, or anybody DCPS, do y'all use Slack?
I don't, but I know a lot of people that do it in their other careers. KP say yeah though.
Yeah, we used to use it before. Yep.
Okay. So Slack is kind of like I think it's like Teams. I never use Microsoft Teams, but it's like Microsoft Teams. Matter of fact, I tried to get us to use Slack like last year for Game 7, and Slack in itself is pretty powerful, but I think over time it's just started to get some competition. But regardless, I think I might have either saw something about Slack, like some news, or I was just clicking around looking at different charts. And this one jumped out to me for a couple of reasons. You can see, I'll tell you where I kind of went in Slack was November 13th is when I bought my call. With my ultimate strategy was that based on the chart, as Slack goes towards earnings, which is December 9th, it's probably going to go up. And I don't know what's going to happen at earnings. I told you I don't want to hold anything through earnings, but a lot of the time you'll start to see a lot of people talking. You'll start to see a lot of excitement leading up to earnings. So my strategy really is to hold this into earnings and see how high it can go based on the following. If you look at this chart, it's not the prettiest chart. It's a lot of weird things going on, a lot of gaps. But what I saw was, in general, you got some support down here at about 24.
Can you put it on the line chart real quick?
Let me try.
And I'm asking him to show a line chart because it essentially takes the chart from all them boxes to a line. So it's much easier to see supports and resistances, resistance side, however you say it. Okay.
All right, so basically, again, it's the same thing. If you look at the chart as a whole, it does a lot of stuff. There's a lot of peaks, but ultimately, I would say between April and now, the bottom support has been right at 24. Everybody see that? Okay. And then your resistance somewhere around 32. Definitely has some times where it peaked over that, but felt like that was a general target for resistance, specifically because this last run up, it hit that 32 mark. So multiple times it hit that 32. So if I look at maybe the last two weeks or so, we're right around that support, which tells me we got some room to run up to that resistance. And knowing that earnings is coming up, I said, okay, I'm down at support. I'm down right around 24. I think I entered at about 25. And I think that it can go up to 32. And keep in mind, I didn't have this last run when I made that decision. That was just what I thought. But just in the last week, it's already gone from 25 all the way up to about 29. I want to say my break even was at 27. So I'm already in the money. And I still got about 2.5 weeks until earnings. So I think at this point, it's looking like it'll break 30. It might break 32. But right now I'm watching it to break 30 and see what it does right around there. If it starts to consolidate a little bit, I'll jump out because technically my money's already made. But I feel like if you believe in how I charted this out, if you do your research, you might be comfortable with taking a bet on 32, and you could probably find a good call that you could ride over the next couple of weeks, or even maybe after earnings if you want to take a chance with a longer expiration date. You can ride that up until earnings and probably get somewhere close to 32 and make some money. So that would be my call for the next couple of weeks, if not longer. Let me switch back to the other chart so y'all can see that too. Keep in mind that your all-time high is somewhere around 40. So best case scenario, which sounds crazy because it's not a good thing, but maybe it is a good thing. We go back into a lockdown mode so we can get over this COVID stuff. More people working from home, more people using their computers. That means more people using Slack probably than right now. So it might be an inverse effect with lockdowns. We go back in the house, Slack jumps back up. So that's something to consider too. So this would definitely be one that I would say, if you believe in the charting, look into over the next week or 2 weeks.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. Say it again.
You about to dip?
I got a couple more minutes. I do probably got to jump off next 10 minutes or so, but if it's any other questions or anything I could add before I jump off, I can do that.
I don't got no questions.
Okay.
Any of y'all do? Anybody watching? No?
I got a couple comments I would like to make.
Who's that, Devin?
That's Dev. What's up, Dev?
What's going on?
And I got a question after that.
All right, so more so, just man, thank you for that breakdown. That's going to be crucial for a lot of people. And while I was listening, I was playing the complete novice in my head and just taking some notes down for possible like questions or things that people don't not sure of. And so one thing I noticed is for those out there in TV land, what I noticed was G was using day candles, and I think people might look at a chart and be like, "Hold on, my chart don't look like his. My chart is not the same at all." And so that's just one thing from a novice perspective. He's been using day candles, so each of those green and red bars, those vertical bars, those represent an entire day of growth or decline. So when you're opening your charts and your charts don't look like his, you might need to change from, say, an hour or 4 hour or whatever yours is on today as you see his. So somebody might have opened up the chart while you was going. He was like, my chart looks completely different. And that's the reason, if so. And earnings, he used the terminology earnings a lot. Earnings is a scheduled day where the company announces all their fundamentals and things of that nature, the profits, their net losses, their net gains. And so people out there looking are really affecting the stock price based off of those. And some earnings, G, if I'm correct or incorrect, make sure you let me know. Some are quarterly and some are annually, or all stocks quarterly. Do you know?
So I mean, typically it's going to be quarterly. Most companies are going to report quarterly. What you'll find though is it's not the same schedule for every company. Every company can set their own quarter. So one company's first quarter may be in June, whereas another company's first quarter may be closer to the calendar year or so in January. There's a lot of places you can go online to find earnings calendars, which will tell you when companies have reported earnings in the past and when they most likely will report earnings in the future. So again, you can build a strategy around upcoming earnings. I wouldn't necessarily recommend to build a strategy based on the results of those earnings, but like I said earlier, a lot of people get excited as earnings come up, and with that excitement comes a lot of volatility. So you can use that to your advantage and ride some of those trends up and get out before earnings. And at that point, it doesn't matter if the company had a good quarter or a bad quarter because you already made your money. Or on the flip side, you can watch the results of earnings, get the general sentiment, and see if, all right, they reported earnings, but this is going down. You may be able to ride that wave if you've already charted out where the stock could go, where it is right now. So it's a lot of strategies that I'm learning around earnings. But yeah, definitely good call outs, Dev. Just real quick, so people can see maybe what another chart looks like. Like Devin said, I was only looking at 1 day charts. But you got a lot of different options based on what you're trying to do. There's also some people who do day trading, and they may watch a 30-minute chart and give it a second. It's not coming up. But basically, a 30-minute chart would show you each candle, or each candle on the 30-minute chart would represent 30 minutes. So you'd have a lot more candles in a day, as opposed to the charts that I use, which one candle represents all of the action in one day.
And also to piggyback real quick off for the earnings, a good resource to use is like on Instagram. I think he posts it all the time, and the actual link is, or the handle is what, ESP Whispers, and that's the Instagram page where they actually announce the upcoming earnings for the week too. So.
And G, you mentioned that people usually get excited. It's a lot of excitement around earnings, and to mention, a lot of people get excited because the market is moved by two big emotions, and that's fear and greed. So coming around the earnings time, and that's going to generate excitement because it's going to see where people, oh, they didn't make a lot, so I might want to get rid of this, or oh, they made a lot, their earnings were good, so people might get greedy. So stay true to whatever strategies you have, because the market does move with emotions, which are fear and greed.
Very true. Very true.
That right brain that Malcolm had mentioned earlier, a lot of right brain people move the charts, and a lot of left brain people chart the charts. So there's a mixture of technical analysis, fundamental analysis, and like Kels was like, bruh, sports about to come up, man. This DraftKings gotta go. You know what I'm saying? And that was before the technical analysis, I'm sure, before he charted the things. So yeah, it's a mixture.
What you got, Ray?
What you mean? As far as charting?
Nah, I thought you had a question. You said.
No. Oh, I was gonna ask about the bands being open for the Bollinger Bands, but I'll wait till we get to that a little bit later on.
Yeah, we'll jump into that. And I also want to highlight too, especially to Dev, because you always been in the mix, but not necessarily the Game 7 mix. So what we doing now, we not teaching, right? We're, like G said, we doing what we always do
every Sunday.
When it pops for us, we can go back and be like, yo, what we do work. I mean, what we did works, and what we do works. Right? Like everybody not waking up 8:45 in the morning, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of their friends getting on here talking about the stock market. People ain't even trading yet. Some people are. You feel me? Or when we get this bread and then we take the whole squad to Greece and all the kids and the ladies, everybody looking sweet. Dang, what do they do? Go on YouTube.
Watch the videos.
This is what we did. Go on Instagram, count them days in a row. When you got your swimming suit on, you got your bikini on, you don't feel good, go 90 in a row. Give it a shot. You feel me? That's what we did with the workout system. So I'm not trying to be sarcastic or carry you, but I want to spend this time doing our thing and not let other people slow us down while we're just trying to share. Now, it is important. I know we speak in more or less a foreign language, so if we go on the stream, they got to be able to follow us a bit. But I want to make sure that we keep moving on, doing what we do. Then eventually we can have G know how to teach. Devin, you are a born and bred teacher. You feel me? And do that stuff later. So don't take it the wrong way. I just want to highlight that we're still doing our thing. All right. So let's I got the joint from last week, the podcast, and I know we said we wouldn't make this move, but I thought of it. So let's review what we said last week. So we said potentially Walmart can drop from 151 to 136. KP got the same outfit on. From 151 to 136, right?
Different hat.
And I also
different hoodie too.
Yo, you gotta chill, fam. You gotta chill.
Right. So I was looking this morning, and where's my
and keep in mind, I think Walmart had earnings this week too, so maybe we can look at that as well. I think earnings was Tuesday PM, Tuesday morning.
All right, and it's actually on my list though, and I had forgot about that. So I was, well, let's take a step back. First thing that you should do is always check the 4 big boys: SPY, DIA, QQQ, IWM. The top 500 companies in the country, the top 3,000 tech companies in the country. You got your small cap companies, which are like the top 2,000 smaller companies. In the Dow as the top, I don't know how many, but industrial companies. So I went through and I can see I did a support and resistance. I didn't have to change them like they're from last week. So I see 1 revolution, 2 broke out, but it's coming back down. So it's downtrending, but you got to watch this. If it breaks through, probably going to shoot back down. If it bounces up, probably going to shoot up to some undefined point, but that we can use the bands that Ray was talking about and moving averages to predict when we'll get a change. So, all right, so we got 1 beginning of a downtrend. We have another breakthrough, beginning of a downtrend. We have another, more or less a touch than a downtrend. 1 revolution, 2 on the 3rd. I forgot to count these. 1, 2, maybe a 3rd. And you notice red, 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 green. So the smaller companies, they had a good week. They broke through and they're trending up. So that tells us when we're looking through the stocks, more or less, we're going to be looking for downtrending stocks because that's what the market is potentially doing. Or for the industrial stocks, they look like they're heading up. I don't know them all off of hand, so I found a resource to tell me what the industrial stocks are. So I know more or less I'm looking for stocks to go down minus the industrial stocks. So I just started clicking through my watch list and Walmart is on here. So we can see we got 1 touch, 2 touch, and it's right at resistance. And it's 1, 2, 4 days in a row. So it's waiting for something. So knowing that Walmart is in the SPY is right there with the other ones about to go down, potentially. So I set an alert for a price below 148. It's at 150.24 now, well, 150.25 actually. So if it go down $2, I know to look at it again. Let me make this big.
And while you adjusting the size, can I mention something that I learned? You see those lines called wicks? Are y'all hip to the wicks?
What's the wicks?
The wicks are those, you see how, all right, so the candle has the thick portion, you know what I'm saying? And the wicks are those skinny lines.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like a candle's wick.
Yeah.
When you see the wicks, when you see it testing resistance or testing support, and the wicks are like all long on one side, it's like price action hitting something and it goes above it and then it comes back down and then it goes above it and it comes back down. So basically it's been testing that resistance and not wanting to break through. So for me, when I'm looking at that, I see a higher chance of it going down because price has been tested. It's been testing that jump. It's been trying to get above and price won't get above it or it won't stay above. So just looking at it right now, if they have bad news on the earnings or if earnings are not good, I foresee that it's going to come back down to that support.
All right. And
Does it work? Can I ask one question, Dev? Does it work on the same way, like as support? So if you got some wicks going under support, but then it comes back up, the indication is the same that it may be going bullish.
Yeah, you see, like, so basically there's like doji candles where it's wicks on both sides when price don't really know what it want to do, And then it's when it's wicks on one side in particular, you know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, we trying to see if it's getting past, and it always closes right back at that resistance or support. You know what I'm saying? That wick is just showing where it went and where it came back. So
Got it.
mhm.
Okay.
All right, well, I'm gonna show that one because you probably like what the hell? That's easy. So for a candlestick, all of these little boxes and string looking things, it's called a candlestick. And very quickly, you got two kinds of candlesticks. Let me do it right now. You got a bullish candlestick, which is up, and you have a bearish candlestick, which is down. So, and these are the wicks that Devin was talking about. All right, so if you're going up, so on the upward candlestick, this is the opening price. Let's just assume these are one day candlesticks. So this is how much the stock opened at the beginning of the day. This is the closing price, where the stock closed at the beginning of the day. This is the high, the highest price that the stock hit for the day. And this is the lowest price that the stock hit for the day. Red is down. So this is the open. This is the close. High and low is the same thing. Boom. So the box is the open and close. The wicks are the high and low. Box, open and close, high and low. All right. So, hey, Dev, can you make a note for us to look at the options for Walmart, please? Another one I looked at, but
Hey, real quick, y'all, I'm gonna hop off. But I'll talk to y'all later. If there's any takeaways for me for the rest of the call, just put in the group chat.
which stock was you gonna look at for this week? Or you did it already?
That was Slack. So Slack is the one I think you could still make a play on it because you got 2 weeks until earnings.
All right, cool.
All right.
All right, bro.
All right, I'll see y'all.
Peace out. So, and if y'all got any of y'all got any ones to look at for the week, make sure y'all write them down. We'll fly through the list, then we'll go back and look at potential trades for them. So I also saw Costco. I don't know which one this is on, but I know it's not a small cap, so it's got to be trending down because Costco is one of the biggest companies in the world. So what I did was zoomed out. First, you put it on line chart. Boom. Zoomed out. I got my major support. Hit this point, bounced up a couple times. Hit this point, clear resistance, broke through. Got 3 more resistances. Right. Cool. So then I changed this to candlesticks. And I got one revolution. This is kind of 2, but I would want to know what this is. On November 9th.
Yeah, that's super significant. Like let me Google that right.
Yeah, I'm gonna see if I can. Find it.
Were you in Webull just now?
Yeah, that's Webull. Yeah.
You can click on like the news tab. That's what I was doing every time I saw big drops. I would just go to the top and click on the news, and then like look for that particular date.
Oh, all right. This is the 9th. Then I can go. I was gonna go to Benzinga, so we'll look at both.
Or
So-
Brazil, yeah.
News, the 9th. The 9th. What is this? Costa. Nah, this ain't saying nothing.
Yeah, nah, that's about vaccine.
That's the only thing I see from the 9th. Let's see what
So-
they got. Oh, my computer going so slow.
While Malk is looking that stuff up, question for y'all: what percentage of y'all the amount you put into your stocks or portfolio do you use for trading versus how much biweekly or monthly do you put in stocks that you hold and that you plan on you just keeping for long term, or is that just like a kind of weekly basis you kind of decide?
I ain't holding nothing. Only options.
I've been long trading because I haven't really got a game plan as of yet until we've been learning this. You know, I was blind trading before, so everything that I got in my like little accounts or whatnot is basically long term trading. But now I'm getting the game plan together, so I'm about to switch it over. You know what I'm saying? I can either cash out, use all that money, 'cause I have made a little bit of money, and then start with the new game plan, or just leave that, you know, as one strategy, one long-term strategy, and then add this as another strategy as well.
And I know for me, I
And then,
was really pushing penny stocks a lot. So I think me, the beginning was real volatile. So I was come in, rock out for a couple hours, dip out. So now I'm kind of switching gears to where I want to go to like more long term. I'm not looking to hold anything for a very long time, but just a lot longer than just typical penny stocks.
So
It probably was this. It hit a 52-week high.
See?
39. Let's see.
Yep.
Yep. It hit an all-time high. That's what it was. 390.
so people just took profits.
Yeah.
Yep.
you were able to look up the date on Benzinga and look up any news that correspond with that date.
Yeah, man. Benzinga, you get everything. It's like the Adam Schefter of the stock market.
Watch.
The free stuff from Webull, they ain't tell us nothing. Benzinga get a whole freaking board of news, and it calls it out like 8 o'clock in the morning. Like, all right, boom, 52-week high. Let me go over to this jump. And it's green. Green signifies news for options. All right, so I would have went over to this joint hypothetically. So let's go here. And this would be perfect for the bands and the moving average. So if I put the indicators on the moving average. All right, so see, this is about a day. So it took the yellow line took a dip down, right? But it didn't cross, right? But I guess if you were looking for that day, this is the 9th. So let's put it on like the 30 minutes. I don't even know if I can go back to the 9th now, though.
And we have a question in the chat about.
Boom. All right, I'll get to it in 1 second. So
Yeah.
right here, so this is the 9th at 10 o'clock. So at 10 o'clock, it's so close, but you can see that the lines cross. All right, cross, that means it's probably going to go down. Boom. You would have hit that money. That's a $30 drop in one day. Whew, you could have killed. You could have killed. So, and let's see the bands that Ray was talking about. Boom, a squeeze. Right? If y'all was on last week, I had the water, and if I squeeze it, the top was gonna pop off, or the bottom if I squeeze it hard enough, right? So it doesn't tell you which way it's gonna pop, but if you know it's at an all-time high, unless there's some crazy news to where Costco has the cure for coronavirus or something, that joint going down. So you would have had the squeeze to tell you, go down. You would have had the moving average cross to tell you, go down. You would have had Benzinga you got to pay for, but you can already see the benefit right there. It's $1,000 a year, I think. And once you get it, that ain't nothing. Like G said, he made 3 G's this week. So that's 1/3 of a weekly pay, at least for him. So the squeeze of the bands told you something. The moving average told you something. And the news told you something. Comment. So if a company has highs for weeks, it'll go down. All right. So Tamara, what that means, so an all-time high is a resistance, right? So just like how we got these lines, once it hits the top, there's not really much more room to grow. So just imagine if like you got to let the stock prove itself. You got to let it prove itself. All right. So just like here, you saw before, all right, it's going down. It's never been higher. So that means it's probably going to go back down because people don't want to catch the downtrend. Like, oh, it's been this high, it's probably going to go down. Let me sell. That's what the mass of the people are doing. All right. So you always look out for a high. And really the only way it'll break a high is if there's some big, huge news. Big, huge news. I'm sure, I don't know what Pfizer's stock is, but I'm sure they had a big run recently due to the what's that thing called? The
Vaccine.
Yeah,
Vaccine.
Vaccine. Right, that's a world-changing event. So maybe we can check that one out too. But yeah, but if it hits an all-time high, more or less, that means it's going to go down. But that's just your initial emphasis. That's where the charting comes in, and you let that tell you the story. Good question. But for here, so hit an all-time high. So 2 times, hit an all-time high, it dropped back down. All-time high, it dropped back down. So I have an alert for here, except for 379. It's at just about 382. I want to make sure it breaks this resistance and it goes back down. Because 2 times ago, boom, it broke, it went down ASAP. Boom, it broke, it went down super ASAP. So I would predict again that it's going to go down again. And this is still, I guess it's the 3rd revolution, but it didn't really touch here. But 2 or 3, so it's definitely in that 2.5 range. So something's about to happen. So I would also predict that this one is about to go down. So Dev, can you write that down too, to revisit this for an option? And then I'll do 2 more. And if anybody else has any ones they want to look at, we'll check those out too. Coca-Cola. Now this joint, zoom out. Put it on a line chart. Coca-Cola was booming from March 2019 up to right before the pandemic. This is a killer, bro. Once again, pandemic, is that an all-time high? Yeah, gotta be. All-time high. You would already been in the mix for it going down, right? All-time high going down in the pandemic hit. So you could have ate. You could have ate. Perspective change. Everybody crying that they lost their jobs at Coke. If they would have had insight into the market, they would have known I could have ate from 60 to 37, changed my life in the span of February 18th, in a month, in 5 weeks. Change your life in 5 weeks. And now it's on an uptrend again. All right, so you see it's going up. If I draw the uptrend line,
They could have possibly went from severance to retirement.
you feel me? Yeah. So we got a clear uptrend here. I guess I'll put this one. All right, so we know the stock is trending up in the big picture, but if we go back to current day, we can see that it just broke a channel. Let's see, we got 1 revolution, 2 revolution, top of the 3rd, yo broke out, and it gapped up. Let's see what the news is. This is on 11/6. So over the weekend, something happened. So let's check the 6th and the 9th for Coca-Cola, KF. The 6th and the 9th. And also, I'd like to highlight too, like how you use your time in life is very, very important. A lot of people use Sunday to rest. You feel me? They don't really use Sunday to get better. 6 and the 9th. What up, Kel? 6 and the 9th. So on the
What's good, fellas, and everybody else? How y'all doing today?
So something happened on the 6th. I don't know what happened on the 6th. On the 5th, I'm not sure. If you look on the 9th in the morning, but you missed it. You missed it if you got there on the 9th. So maybe something happened on the 5th. What about the 5th?
Do Yahoo Finance got something? Got some news or something? I mean,
All y'all Google it for me. See if somebody can find something. Oh, the election. The election. When was the election?
Election was the 3rd.
Let's say post-election rally. I'm not sure. I don't know. But I mean, but even if so, like, well, let me check. KP said check this, John. The 6th and the 9th. So on the 7th.
Well, I see on the 5th, I see an article that says on the 5th, Coca-Cola buys coffee kiosk startup powered by mobile. So I don't know if that's it, but it's saying they bought a Costa Coffee unit. They basically bought a startup that does mobile coffee.
Maybe that's it. What source are you looking at?
It's a mobile marketer. I just typed in Coca-Cola news November 5th.
Okay.
And our article says Coca-Cola buys coffee kiosk startup powered by mobile. Right. I don't know if that's it. That just happens to They popped that out on the 5th.
All right, let me get that up here. All right, but whatever. But even if we didn't know that, you could have told from the chart. 1 revolution, 2 broke out on the 3rd. If you would have got in here right at resistance, and look, also look at this intersection. When you're looking at charts, intersections mean something. Just like for those of y'all who paid attention in math, intersections almost always mean something. Where X meets Y, whatever is dependent meets the independent, right? So you got a cross between your trend and your resistance. So you could have got in at 47, boom. And as soon as it hit up here, all-time high, red day, that's where I would have got out. You know, speaking with hindsight. But also, I'm gonna ask y'all. I picked this up from G recently. So since we see this gap here, what do y'all think we should expect? Since we see that gap,
A gap fill.
a fill,
Okay.
a fill, right? So
So that uptrend line, maybe.
right,
What I just said.
it hit a fill. So I would definitely predict that this joint is going down. But I would wait. I don't know if I would mess with it though, because we got this. Once it breaks a resistance, that now becomes support, right? So look like it's going down, but you really only got $1.50 to play with. You feel me? And then if you wait here,
This is what you can.
go ahead.
Hey, Malk, though. I was gonna say if you got the bread, you could play it 2 ways. You could play it as if it was going down, right? Or you could play it sideways and then try to collect that premium.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't think it's gonna go down and you think it's gonna create a new channel and go sideways, you say what?
So you're talking about a spread, right?
Can you hear me?
Yeah. You talking about a spread?
Yeah. I mean, cause that's why I said you could do two. You could do it 2 ways. Yeah, do it 2 ways. One, like I said, if you think it's gonna fill the gap going down to wherever that what's that? Down to 51,
Uh-huh.
right?
Mm-hmm.
If you think it's going, you can ride that spread all the way. Or if you think it's, like I said, you can buy 2 options, right? Because you think it's going to channel or go sideways and just stay within that, create a new channel at that new support and resistance, right? And then keep an option far out, and then just see if you can collect that premium on that.
Yeah. And this would be a good one for like you and Devin. Like this a big boy stock. It's clearly going to go up. People ain't going to stop drinking Coke or eating none of their products, right? But in terms of like an option, it's not that much room to play with. But if you're going to get it and hold it, clearly, you know, at least it can go up to 60. And Coke ain't going nowhere. It's going to go up to Lord knows what, you know? But yeah.
And on the back, on the back end of that, if you're gonna hold it for a long term too, you can collect that dividend. Because I'm pretty sure Coke is gonna pay a dividend.
Yeah, the last dividend was on the 14th of September, and the previous one was on the 15th of.
And they dividend is 41 cents a share. Oh, okay. I think
There you go.
that's all right.
But I wouldn't mess with that for an option unless you long term. And then we got Apple.
That's why.
Yeah, I know. I'm just clarifying. So then we got Apple. So here's why I was cautious. So we saw. Let me zoom out first. So Apple had a little dip for the coronavirus, but boom, took off and hit an all-time high. Once again, it hit that all-time high, broke down. And I'm pretty sure we should see a cross in the moving averages. If I zoom in, indicator, moving average. So you can see here, at the peak, the moving average took a sharp breakdown, right? So, all right, that tells you it might start breaking down. So that day too, if you was riding this up, this big red day, and the sharp turn from the 10-day, I'm out, right? And it eventually crossed. But notice that it didn't cross the 50. And once it got close to the 50, it turned back up, the stock turned back up. Let's check out the bands, Bollinger Bands. So here was a squeeze, and it rolled the top band up. Came off a little bit, went back up, but boom, as soon as it dropped off the top band, fell out. And it had a little squeeze here, so it's kind of staying wide open. So this is kind of in a weird space right here. But go ahead.
My fault, bro. I didn't mean to interrupt.
Go ahead.
But all right, so three things. One, that big drop. If I'm correct, I think that's when the split happened. I think that's when the Apple split happened, and I think that's when they took profits. But the second thing, I think that's what that S down there stands for at the bottom. At the
Yeah. Okay.
yeah. So and the second thing is this right now, Apple looks like it's trading a triangle. And if people are not familiar with triangle, could you go back out a little bit? Yeah, like you were. If y'all, all right, so basically it's making higher lows and lower highs into a squeeze point, which is like the point of a triangle. So Mal, if you can make like an uptrend line, tipping the bottoms, basically starting from that August point. Yeah, like that. And make a uptrend using all right, and then boom, and then make a downtrend from that high from the share.
It's like that flag John they be talking about.
All right, so this is called like a triangle. And so similar to like a squeeze where it breaks out, trading triangles break out as well. And so like whether it breaks that, you know what I'm saying? You see how all of those touches on that line, you know what I'm saying? You see how it tipped that line? So if it goes down, I don't foresee it going below this bottom trend line. And then once it decides which way it's going to go out of the triangle, it's like I learned three things can happen. One, it can do like it'll break the line and then it'll reverse and come back into triangle and test one of those lines. Or if it breaks one of those, it'll just like go in that direction. And knowing Apple, I wouldn't bet on it falling unless it was some bad news. So just like a squeeze, when it breaks a triangle, it pops. And so that's just like y'all can do your own little research on trading triangles, but that's how it works.
And then, is that what they be talking about when they see the flag pattern?
So flag is one of the many patterns, you know what I'm saying, in stocks, but in particularly this is like its own entity, like trading triangles. Like people will trade triangles, like they'll find triangles, you know what I'm saying, and they'll scalp them pretty much. So once they find, oh, this stock is in a triangle, they'll chart it, see where those trend lines are, and then boom. But it does look like a huge flag, don't it? Like starting all the way back, like, you know what I'm saying, behind there. But yeah.
Okay, so what I would wait, break the triangle, and I have this alert at 125 because that's the previous resistance.
Mm-hmm.
So if it breaks the triangle, breaks this resistance, I'm checking the indicators, see what I'm gonna do. But just like you, like it's Apple, it's going up. Like it's not gonna go down. But good catch. I didn't know that. That's the benefit. That's why we brought you in.
Yeah, I didn't know that either. Never heard of that.
And yeah, and
Hey,
Forex
so
triangles a lot.
so take it a step further. You have all this information right here, right? What kind of trade would you make with the information that we just gathered right here? All the
I'll say I watch
information.
some indicators. I watch them.
No,
I
I'm
have to
just
watch the
saying.
indicators.
No, let's go. Okay, we have the information, right? Let's go to the. Can we pull up the options page and see what type of option would be the best option available?
We could, but I wouldn't trade it yet. Like I would wait for this break. Like we waiting to see what it do. Like we're gonna do that with Walmart and Costco for sure. Like we can look, but I wouldn't. What trade would you want to look at?
I guess which option?
A possibility. Yeah, I wanted to see, like, okay, so right now, if we were to forecast it out for, let's say, another month, a call for another month or so, what would the calls be for a month out as of right now?
All right, are we shooting for 125, 132, or 139?
Let's be conservative and shoot for 125.
All right, 125 for a month out. So month out is December 22nd. No, it's the wrong one. Month out is December 22nd.
How many candles? Don't you got to count the candlesticks though?
Yeah, but I mean, Ray kind of dictated the date already. But yeah, that's what I would do. Normally, I would count the candlesticks to see how long.
I mean, yeah, time interview and see. But I'm just saying, we just a month out just to see.
A month out for 125. So that's December, more or less 24th. We're predicting it's going to go up, so that would be a call. And 125. So that's out the money. All of them are out the money.
I honestly wouldn't even look at 125. Me personally. So you're looking for the strike price at 125, huh? I got you.
Yeah, but like I said, I wouldn't trade this, and the numbers speak to it. So 125, we're looking for a delta of 0.7 to 1. It's 0.24.
The delta is terrible.
But the open interest is good. We need at least 100, but you only gonna make 24 cents on the dollar. So
yeah, that's what I'm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But none of
these. But I guess we would. How much is the contract though?
The contract for 125, 150, about.
And how much time we got to add in the time? How much time?
30 days.
But we got to add the. I thought we had to add the
The theta.
The time plus the contract.
Yeah.
But yeah. I'm thinking.
Like this saying, don't do it.
Okay.
Let's do that for Costco and Walmart. I'm pretty. Wait, while we on it, let's check. So Walmart. So Walmart, we see on the way down last time, it took 1 day, 2 days, 3, 4, 5, 7 days more or less. That's kind of quick. 1, 2, 3. So I would at least choose a month. So let's try a month. And let's say we think it can go down to 136. I'll get what you were saying, Dad.
What is it at now? That's 150. What?
150. So a month out takes us to December 24th. And if it can go down to 136.
We doing a put, right?
Yeah, so if it's at 150, they can go to 136. These got real good deltas. Yeah, so in the money is how we put them on the wrong side. Over here.
Yeah. Those are calls.
Deltas. All right, so our plays, no plays, because we got a 0.72. We got good deltas here, but the open interest is 22.13, 1 and 1.
And hold up, but we need to, and that's saying we need the price to go up, right? Hold up.
Now this a put.
I always be getting confused on puts.
On a put, you're betting that the price is going down. In options, you're
Okay.
betting that it's going to go up. So a put is like you're saying, yo, this.
A call
No,
your bet
get,
goes
I
up.
mean, a call. That's what I meant. A call. A call is
No.
a call is higher. A put
No, I'm saying
is
that.
your bet going down.
So what I was saying
The
is,
obligation.
I know those two things, but I'm saying what I be getting confused is sometimes is when it's in the money, out of the money, and the strike price is, well, the current price is 150, but if you look at it, you're looking for a put for 152. So I'm like, that's why I say I get a little confused sometimes.
Well, that's just the strike price. Your break even would be 147. So that's below.
That's the, I know that's the part where I say I be getting confused sometimes. I know
Yeah.
what was going on, but I just said that's why I get confused.
All right. So, Walmart ain't really no good right now. At least for a month out. If we go farther out. Nope. Farther out again. So here, this might be the first play right here.
What
180
is it?
strike, a 180 strike for January 15th. It's got a 0.96 delta, and it's got 519 people playing. Right?
And you're looking at puts on purpose, correct?
Yeah, because we're predicting that it's going to go back down.
Gotcha.
All right.
But how much is the contract though?
That
So
contract,
180.
about 2,900. Yeah, about
2,900 to make, but so it's 2,900 to make. Can we do the profit right quick? Can we calculate the profit?
What's it
Yeah.
going down to from 150 to?
What's the spread?
So,
Yeah.
one of y'all got a calculator? All right, I can pull it.
Yeah, on my phone.
I got a calculator.
What's the spread?
So our delta is
9.6.
0.96
96.
times our spread that Ray is asking for. So we got 150 to 136. So $14.
14.
Times 14 times 100.
100.
So 1344. So you got to put up 28 to make 1344.
1344. All right, so remember that number. But now we got to put
And then what's the theta?
Theta. Theta is this one.
But nah, you gotta go. You gotta go Yahoo Finance for data.
Nah, it's right here.
Oh, I'm sure. Okay.
0.01. So it's going to be 0.01
0.01 times
times
100.
100 for $1. So $1 over how many days? January 15th, 12/1.
It's 30 days.
13. That's 60 days. 1344 minus 60. So about 1,200.
So that play could eventually be a $1,200 play if
Putting
it
up
comes all the way
29.
back down. Putting up 29. But we also gotta let the people let the people be reminded that if it doesn't go down to that price, you do lose that 29. But doing the homework in the chart and being confident in your homework, you know what I'm saying? You should be confident that 12 is gonna come back. And that's the part of investing.
So Walmart is a long-term play if you want to play it. Coke is a long-term play if you want to play it. Costco is we gotta wait and see. Just like now. And Apple, we're waiting to see what's up with this triangle in the resistance. So I saw somebody said they wanted to look at Wawa.
Mom Dukes.
Wawa. Wawa's privately owned, so you can't share it. Yep. So there goes look at Wawa. Nothing. Privately owned.
Oh yeah, their franchises are privately owned.
I got one for you, Mel.
Okay.
I was looking at two particular stocks last night, and I already charted them out, but we can chart them out together. First one being is Hewlett Packard. So the ticker symbol is HPE. E as an elephant.
HP. Are they dying?
You sure?
I said, is HP dying? No, I guess not.
Nah, they're not doing too bad. It's a weird thing, right? So I noticed that there's a channel going down. If you look at that last part between, basically, I called it from around August until around now. Well, no. After Corona, AC.
Yeah, I'm getting there.
Damn.
That drop off is crazy.
But you also got to remember, a lot of people, the offices closed, people aren't printing, a lot of things that Hewlett Packard would provide, the service kind of slowed down and stopped. So it kind of makes sense to see all these things, which is so interesting. But at least we know when the markets open back up and the world is back up, it has that potential to hit that 17-ish.
That's why I might hold some companies long.
Yeah, it's really good.
Yo, if half of the companies we look at just touch support,
And I'm,
should be good money.
So where you got your resistance right here, Susan?
Yep, so it actually goes down like a slant. So you see that, drag your right there where November is, that support, the lowest support. Yep, starting basically the line's gonna go from there and then do it to about August. So from August at the support to the November support. And that's where I created that channel in between those two.
All right, so it's clearly uptrending.
Yeah, it's uptrending. So when I did my research, I just because I was looking at it, I'm like, why the hell is it jumping up so high around like November 5th, November 6th? But then when I looked online, Hewlett Packard, they just announced something with like space. They're doing something with NASA. And it's supposed to be like a real positive thing. I think they're supposed to get the results back in like 2024 or something. But there was a huge jump in the market because of the announcement that came out. But you can even tell that it's like that's one channel, that's the channel going up. Then even heading up to that, there was a channel going down. I'm interested to see. But once they reached that bottom point, which is at 823, it kind of just bumped up from there, or 837.
All right. So boom, what you see? All right, it hit resistance down.
Yep.
Support. Hit resistance,
Yep.
down to support. Hit resistance,
Yep.
down to support.
So it's either going to break out, break down, or it's going to break. I don't know.
Yeah, well, let's check the
Indicators.
Yeah, the indicator. So is this the one that's
let me change this.
Where they cross near the support is a buy. Where they cross near the resistance is a sell, I believe.
I think that's it.
I'm mad close to my screen, like.
Oh yeah, dang, this joint. Ooh. Yeah, this joint going up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that joint is trending up like crazy. Well,
'Cause
the
it-
indicators are showing that.
You would have caught it down here where 10 broke the 20 and the 50. Even if he was conservative, you got it at 964.
Yep.
Then it just now broke to 200. Right, so it's trending up, at least according to the moving averages, even though it's kind of looking like it's taking a little step down. But I would wait for it to hit support and see what it do.
Right there, yep.
And then for the Bollinger Bands,
They're kind of spread out. Not even.
oh yeah, it ain't quite walking the line, but they wide open.
So doesn't that mean that it's going to continue? It's going to continue the trend. Like it hasn't been squeezed yet to really force you to go high. Because right now, at that point, you're at the third revolution. So it's going to be very rare that it even gets to that fourth revolution. But isn't it safe to say with the Bollinger Bands that it's probably going to continue just to kind of break up? Because there's nothing indicating that it's about to just be like random volatile break.
I got a quick question. What was that bottom line on the Bollinger Band?
The bottom line.
I think it was yellow.
This is so you got the blue, which is like the middle band, I guess. The up is the break out band, and the yellow is the break down.
Okay.
All right, so if this was down trending, this would be down here by the yellow. So this downtrending, it's the middle, this is uptrending.
Gotcha.
And you can see like it just
So downtrend, uptrend, and like channeling.
you see how it's squeezed right here? It's been in the squeeze for a minute. Then boom, it broke out of that squeeze. And you can see once it came off, took back-to-back greens off the band.
Pow.
Rising up. Boom.
So it's interesting to see what's going to happen. You know, I don't know if it's because of the hype of the NASA announcement, but right now it's looking like it's still trending up. And there's nothing really indicating that it's about to just drastically and violently go a different way.
And you also said that they might not get the news back until 2024.
Well, I think it's like a mission that they're doing for the whole thing will be done in 2024. They announced that I think yesterday. Or
That's kind of far.
This joint can go all the way up here.
Yeah.
You know?
What number is that?
Pre-corona. Well, it started falling in before corona, so.
Well, you got to remember the announcement of Corona, right? And I thought about it the other day, and I saw something online. It was like "Happy Birthday, Corona." Like the first announcement of Corona was in November.
November of last year. November, it was like November 19th.
The U.S. actually didn't close down until like March. You know what I mean?
This
5 months later.
This November 25th right here.
I mean, it started in China. So I guess by the time it started to work its way over, maybe that's why we're starting to see the lower numbers in like December-ish, and then it just falls off.
All right. Well, let's see. We didn't draw no resistance either, though. Do you got a resistance line right here?
Yeah. Yep.
Where is it at?
I got the resistance. Shoot. Well, I drew the. You want me to just share my shit? Share my screen.
What's the number right here?
It's oh no, I think I just got the channel on it. I just got the channel. I got the trend lines, Bollinger Bands, moving averages, but I don't got the resistance. Because I think the way I was looking at it was kind of like I captured the resistance within the channel. If that makes sense.
Well, I would probably say it hit here one, probably like right here.
Yep. So I would say that is the resistance towards the area.
Yeah, so and it just broke resistance too. You feel me? So we can probably play this joint up to here, 11:59.
Yep.
Let's see what them numbers look like. So we had 10:47 to 11:59. Let's a call to 11:59. Call to 11. So we got to count the days. Well, from here, dang, last time it did that in 2 days.
Yeah, it's weird.
Did that in 2 days. All right,
This one's just a regular one. Oh yeah, G said let him in.
You back?
For a little while, I just realized y'all was still on.
Yeah. So 11:59. So we go a month out, and that's gonna be a call.
And G, we looking at Hewlett Packard right now. You notice a little trend between it. Looks like it's they had like an announcement about NASA or something, and them helping out with that, and it's been like a big, huge uptrend. So we're looking at options.
You say Hewlett Packard, like the computers?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So in a month, we got some IA deltas, but nobody's playing.
Yeah, no futures.
We go out another week, got some IA deltas, nobody playing.
Want to add the money? That's it.
Another week, got some deltas. All right, here we go. People
There it is.
playing right here. So
It's a good one. At 96 ain't bad. Well, it's 240. Yeah, 82.
right here, 96 cents.
Well, the delta was 82. It's 96. It only has 246 open interest though.
No, the delta's 96. You talking about this one or this one? 82 or 96?
Well, I'm saying the 0.82 would be the better one, right? Because it's a higher delta, and in addition to that, it has the 760 open interest.
It's a
It's a lower delta.
and a higher open interest.
Oh, I'm sure it's my eye. I got you. All right. I had to look
but
for it.
they both solid plays.
Yeah.
Both solid plays. I probably would go with this one. Break even would be 1055. We at 1047.
Yep.
Y'all want to do the numbers?
Why not?
We're at 10. We're going from 1040.
Yep.
So delta and price increase. So our delta, let's do the 96. So 0.96
Man, they double.
our price increase is.
Did you ever use that calculator?
Nah, I got it in my notes. I ain't check it out yet. Maybe you can run it on this joint and see if we get the same thing.
That's what I was thinking.
So our price increase is 1041 to 1147, 1171. That's $1.30. So $1.30 times our 0.96 times $1.30 times 100. 0.96 times 1.3 times 100.
Should be 124.80.
124.80. All right. 124. And our theta is 0. Wow.
Wow.
So
So you basically
Oh, that's good.
But I wonder, do you know
No
if
burn
data
rate.
changes? Does data change as time goes on?
I'm sure it does.
So you got to watch it maybe daily or weekly at least.
But if you're already in a contract, could it change for you?
But that's what I'm wondering. I don't know.
Yeah, that's weird. That's a good question.
Yeah, I don't know, but I would guess that it does. I'm not sure. But what was that? 124?
How much
Your
is the cost of the
profit
contract?
124.80.
It's only 255. So that's a 50% return.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good deal.
Sound good to me. Slap. Sound like a plan.
That's also 2 months out too.
Sounds like a play.
Yeah, sometimes. And
You see that strike prices?
But you said 60 days.
I got one more question about once we done with this one.
All right, that strike was
I got one too.
$8.
Well, you go.
Ray being Ray. What you got, Piz?
The last one I got was PayPal. PYPL. So what?
ELON.
Huh?
ELON.
ELON.
Elon Musk.
Say Elon.
How about this?
But he's not involved anymore, right?
Nah, he sold it.
Yeah. Okay.
He sold
KP.
PayPal.
What about this one, KP? SLOW.
I don't know, man. I gotta think about that one. That's gonna take me a little while. So all right, so boom. I was kind of noticing the trend. If you notice, it goes through. It went through 2 revolutions. As far as that, we already looked at this one, huh?
Nah, this just means I looked at it before at some point.
Okay.
That's a good spread though.
Yeah, and right now it's about to break out to do something. When you put the Bollinger Bands right there where it's at right now, it looks like it's either about to break because it looks like it's squeezing.
Yeah, it's
It-
coming.
It's about to do something.
But it's probably gonna, if it squeeze, it's probably gonna squeeze for a couple of days. But
Yeah.
let me take these up. You got one, and this is what G's talking about, a gap. It eventually filled in a day. Boom. So 1 revolution, 2. Here come that 3rd.
You got the holidays coming up, Black Friday. Everybody's shopping online. A lot of places people are going to be shopping, in person. So I can see why it can go up.
I like that.
Yeah,
And then I look at the options. They got a couple of decent options for it too.
see, my only thing is, like, I would have loved to get it right here. Like, if we look at enough of these joints, we're gonna find them on it right here.
Yeah.
So, but this is also where G8 fasting and 4. But just as easy as he could have ate, he could have went back down. So that's just part of the risk evaluation.
Yeah.
But
I will watch them. Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
For me, I'm setting alert at below 181 to see if it comes back here, or above 209. That's what I would do. Go ahead, Jay.
I would watch the Bollinger Bands because, like you said, KP, they definitely coming in for a squeeze, but they haven't squeezed yet. So as it comes closer to that squeeze, then that's when something is going to happen. I think that what you're probably going to see for at least a couple of days is it's going to continue to do that little, almost like a sideways, like a real tight sideways move that it's doing right now. And then once it squeezes, it's either going up or it's going down. But to your point, with Black Friday and Christmas coming up, it seems like it should go up, right?
To me, I would think it's going low. And I'm just going off my own personal, right? Like the other day, the other week, I went to Leesburg Outlets. I get to the store and they're like, "Yo, hold on, sir, you gotta wait in line." I'm like, "Yo, I gotta do this for Christmas shopping at every store. Everybody gotta do this. There's a certain amount of capacity. I'm about to just go ahead and shop online." It just makes sense that people would do that a lot more, especially with the restrictions coming for the lockdowns and things like that. Like, it makes sense. It's about to boom.
I got one we could check out.
Let's do Rays, then Cash.
Ray like, what about me?
Ray was about to snap. About to flip the desk over.
What you got,
Kendall,
Ray?
you sleep? You sleep, Kendall?
I got a energy company, NEE. Can I share my screen? It's gonna be a little hard to explain, and I got it charted out a little bit already.
I was looking at my watch list, G.
Oh, all right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You said that sounded like somebody, mom.
Kills.
You know how quick you can pull up a watch list on the phone? Too much.
You want to share it, Ray?
It
No,
should be
no.
sharing now. It's not sharing?
It's coming.
Yeah, I see it loading.
Y'all can see my joint?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Pause.
My screen?
Uh-huh.
Here.
Yeah.
All right, so this is an energy company. I just did this off straight technical trading. So I looked at the sector, seeing what sector was performing the best. Utilities was. Then I went to utilities, and then I seen what was the best companies inside the utilities joint. Then I just did like the first two or first three. I came across this one. Drew me to it was, if you can see right here, this flash right here, and this flash right here. See if I can zoom in.
What you mean by flash?
And this is why I had those. All right, so it's been upward trending, right? So as soon as it touched the upward trend line right here, or came close to it, it had it at like a rise. Same thing when it came back here. Almost came down towards the upward trend line, it had rise. Then, let me see. So I took that information. Let's see. And if you can see, I threw two lines of resistance. This one and this one. Oh, I'm sorry. No, this one right here. And I'm guessing, or my homework has led me to believe this is kind of sort of one interval and then two. But when it touches this upward trend line right here, or when it touches this trend line, that we're going to have another. We're going to have another rise of about $5 to $7. This will be my first level I would try to get out. And this would be where I would actually try to stay in until to like really get a profit. And this would be a month out call with a strike price of like $85. I couldn't really see what the option prices would be. That's why I wanted to see if one of y'all could possibly bring them joints up so I could see what the option prices would be for a possible trade.
I just want to say that this is different than what we've looked at before, but it also makes a lot of sense, like the way you did it, because it is a very long, consistent trend. So it's just, for me, it's a different way of looking at it, but it makes sense because it's not really like a channel, and it's not.
Okay.
It's not critique. I'm just saying it's also not like a. It's not like a big move.
Not what we've been.
Yeah, but it still makes sense. Like, I'm curious to see how this plays out because this may be another way to look at it because it is very consistent. it's like it hasn't really broken that trend lined up. And to your point, when it touches the line, it bounces. So it's just a different way to look at it. It's cool.
Fizzle, can you find the beta for that?
Yep. 1 second.
That's the thing about energy, though, right? Like energy is not very volatile. It's like,
But I'm looking at the I'm looking at the sector XLE, and on
Stay
the
rise.
6th it was at 29, and today it's at 36.
Yeah, I made some money off that sector. That's when I was watching. Remember, G?
yeah, you did say that.
The beta is 0.18.
0.18. See, that makes
0.18. Yep.
Yeah, that's a slow moving stock.
And then what also came to my mind, what also came to my mind is like the lockdown too. People gonna be in the house using more energy, computers and all of that. So I'm like,
Yeah.
it may be like just a small move, but it's a move.
Mm-hmm.
What kind of energy is it?
Yeah.
I didn't look it too deep into. Like I said, I just did the
You
fundamentals.
just watching the charts.
Because if it's oil and everybody in the crib,
And I'm gonna stop sharing my screen.
was it NEE?
If it's oil, you still gonna get the rise because it's about to be cold outside.
True.
If it's oil, or if it's electricity, either way.
Yeah, heating oil, man. That joint crazy.
So this the sector had a big fall February. I hate seeing that joint every time. 54 to 20. Right, so it's heading back up. You said NEE.
Mm-hmm.
Man, that joint look great.
You up there?
All right, what option you trying to look at?
Give me 1 second. I want to look at an option for like December 23rd. Do they got one for there?
December 23rd.
Close to Christmas. Yeah.
December 23rd. Boom, right here. It's tight. This might be a good time too. December 23rd. You got December 18th and January 15th.
I might have missed. Would you say what company it was?
NEE.
Yeah.
Next era. So we got
Next era.
some good deltas, and we got good open interest for December 18th. And we'll probably, if we use the lines, we'll probably go up to like right here, 84 or so.
Mm-hmm.
84.
Let me see. I had a sweet spot of like 84, and then I had I say so. I this is what I do. I do levels of running. So I say first base and run, second base and run, like third base and run, and then sweet spot is home. So I only did one base. So first base would be 81.
Mm-hmm. But that's not. That's out the money. But
I know.
Them deltas ain't good. This the
I know.
highest delta, we got it's a 75 break even. And that's why I don't really look at the strike no more. I just look at the break even. 60 strike, 75, 50 break even. And you got a 75.97 break. So one of these. 697. This one got the these down here got the most people playing.
Yeah.
And they cheaper. So which one you thinking?
I would go with I'm gonna go with the 72 break even to 65.37.
Break even 65.37.
Yeah, 72. Strike price 72.5.
Oh, that's 76.37. All right. So
Oh,
we
my
got.
bad.
We should know this by now. Delta 0.72 times our
What's the
increase,
Spread.
right? The
the
spread
spread? Like what? $7?
is from
Mr.
70. So basically 76 to 84. So $8
$8.
times
That's 176.
times one contract times 100.
576.
576. All right. And
Yeah.
the
The
Theta.
actual contract costs what? 280. What's the
actual
theta?
contract is about 387.
387.
Uh-huh.
Oh, that's good money.
And theta is 0.03. 0.03. So 0.03 times 100. So $3.
A day.
So $3 a day.
$3 times a month. What's 30 days?
Days.
Like a
90.
So
little
you
bit.
end up losing. You
90.
end up losing $60 if you hold it for a month.
Huh?
You lose $60 if you hold it for a month because you lose $3 a day over 30 days.
That's 90.
Oh no, my bad,
That's
my bad.
90. Yeah.
$90. I had 20 in there. So your profit would be 486, and then you got to subtract out whatever you paid. So you make about $200 more or less.
And that's only if you buy one contract. Like
One contract.
You can get multiple
Yeah.
contracts.
So let's say just for the sake of it, if you get 10 contracts.
But quick question, not G. Ray, you say you do basis. So would that be 3 to 4 contracts you're buying?
No. When I say basis, that just means the profit level at which I want to get out at. So, my first base, it didn't even work. So I had to go to the sweet spot of wherever the profit was.
Okay, I see what you're saying. My bad.
Now, can you break that down for me, Ray?
All right. So if I'm looking at an option, right, I'd be like, I think it's gonna go to like 3 different prices. So first base, I think it's gonna go here, right? I'm comfortable with this profit at this level. So it was at 75. I think ultimately it's gonna go to 85. But if it goes to 80, then I'm good, right? I'll take the profit at 80. I'll take the burn rate at whatever it is, or the theta. I'm cool with that. I'm the second base. All right. I want to be a little bit more greedy. So I think the price is going to go up to 82. So that's like my second base. Third base is going to be, well, I think it's going to go to 84. All right. I'm comfortable with going to 84. Like if I lose money, I lose money, but I wanted at 84. And then the sweet spot is I wanted to go to 85. If it goes to 85, that's going to be my optimum profit. And, you know what I'm saying? That's where I'm going to take it and run. And I'm not going to play it past, you know what I'm saying, the sweet spot, even if it is crushing. That's the rules that I want to set. So first base, second, third, or then the sweet spot. Then if it's no options with first base, second base, or third base, like nothing is fitting my criteria, then I just got to look for a sweet spot or a profit level in which I can just make some money.
So you more or less you're talking about your exit strategies. You got
Basically.
How much risk you want to take.
Yeah.
I hear that a lot.
That's that right brain. All that extra stuff. Like I just want to get out. Boom, boom, boom.
I hear that a lot though. People
All,
always say,
all of us
plan
was
your
just
entrance,
like,
plan your
oh, okay,
exit.
okay.
I
I hear that
just
a
first
lot.
of all, I just made it pictorially. Like first base, get out here.
Yeah,
Second base,
yeah.
get out
Everybody is different.
But
You
we
needed
can all
to pick what. which is the big picture, right? That's right brain, like big picture versus detail. I meant
I know, but
little specific. You seen the big picture.
What you got, Kels?
All right. I didn't check the chart, but going off of what KP was talking about with the holiday and spending and people being in the house, can you pull up Square?
What's that? SQ something? Q.
Square is
I got it.
all right.
Man, that just
That joint look crazy.
yeah, they started killing doing Corona.
Yeah, because them entrepreneurs.
All right, so Square does like Cash App and Venmo too, I believe.
All right, so I'm gonna go line. I'm gonna make my supports and resistance. So boom, we got one right there. We got another one.
I'm long on this stock.
Right there. Then we got I don't really know.
Hindsight 2020 like a mug.
this is crazy.
Can you imagine an option at like $40?
Man, and then or you can just get a series of options too, like ride that joint all the way up.
But this is where fundamentals comes into play, though, right? So if you would have just been thinking, all right, it's about to be Corona, right? People about to be trapped in the house, like people about to be like starting businesses, people about to be, transferring money online because you can't go to the bank. Like
Not to
you
cut
would have
you
started
off,
to pivot.
but I think it's more logical than fundamentals. When you're thinking about the way the world just changed and everything went to online, people still had to spend their money. They just wasn't going to be doing it in person. We already knew that because we was doing it. So that's just like it's like so right there in your face that you don't even see it.
Boom. I mean, so look, fundamental makes you think about it. Then you come in this joint and check. Boom, right at the bottom.
And then the text make you
confirm it all. Check it out. Boom. So it costs all three on April 28th at $62. So if you would have got, and let's see, so that's the 62 is the moving averages. And if we put the bands on, clearly came out of squeeze. Right?
Bands will make a day.
All right. If you would have got in at 62 or even 69, roll that joint off. And look, it's walking up the line basically the whole way. Came off a little bit, hit the middle, it rolled the middle. As long as it ain't break the middle, you good. Boom, went back up. This whole time, you see when it broke the middle, it went down. But look, it hit it hit our support. Riding support, bands open back up, follow it up, hit resistance. Hit resistance, broke down. So keep going back and forth between support and resistance. All right, but here's where you gotta look though. This is the top of the jump. So still going up. So you can probably try to ride it up to about you can't really see. Like 213. Oh, that ain't bad though. That ain't bad. and 195 to 213. But I probably would wait for it to hit 213. Let it go down. What y'all thinking?
I would let it go down.
But the moving average is still it's going up. Going up.
Is it too late?
It's never
Nah,
been.
it's too late. Cause look, this going up.
We hit that.
Moving average is going up. The it's way above
Hey, can you draw a sideways channel?
on this.
Yeah.
It ain't in no sideways channel. Like, I mean, maybe here. This is clearly uptrend. But if I did it sideways,
Yeah, yeah, it's uptrend, but put a resistance at like 185. I mean support at like 185. 85.
this is 185 right here, right? 186.
And then put a resistance. I mean the support. Why I keep saying that wrong? A
All right, y'all. I'm
resistance
gonna catch
at
y'all
like
on this one. I'm gonna catch y'all on this joint next week.
190.
All
So
right,
like
KG.
195.
But why would you put a support here
No, I said put a resistance.
at 185?
195.
Yeah, and support at 185, right?
Yeah. I just want to see a chance to see something.
Okay. Maybe these two yellow Jones.
I was gonna say, does it look like it's making a triangle? Kind of, sort of.
Nah, if it was a triangle, that would be from the white one.
All right, so look between look at the yellow joint. You just took them away.
Yeah, I gotta, I can put it back. 185, boom, 195, boom. Okay.
All right, now. All right, never mind. I maybe just be seeing things.
Yeah,
Because
this
for
Jones.
me, it kind of looked like it's about to go. All right, if you start at, because it looked like it's going two triangles going upward.
The triangle would be this. So, like, say we got this white jaw, and hypothetically,
Mm-hmm.
we had another one going down like that.
And just to speak on the triangles, it can have a flat side. So like the top can be resistance, and it can keep having higher lows, and that resistance stayed at the top. So it can be like a flat top or a flat bottom and be like this. So I see what you're saying. And I was thinking about stocks that kind of get to that point where it's just like as much as people willing to say or as high as people think it can get. And I'm not sure if it's there, but I feel you on the resistance, like getting that resistance feeling. You know what I'm saying? I ain't no telling when it can keep going. For me personally, I would wait just because I don't know what's going to happen during this Christmas time. I feel like it could go up, but I feel like 200 from 40, that's a huge jump, and people like to take profits around Christmas time.
Yeah, I mean, but then that's when you use an indicator.
Mm-hmm.
It's specifically for trending stocks.
Yeah, it's definitely still in that uptrend.
If we look here, don't know where they at. Moving averages. Oh, the last page. Boom. Best for trending stocks looking for a mid to long term position. Right? So it's perfect. It's clear. It's clearly cleared up. You know, according to all the data, this joint going to continue to go up. You see the yellow is ahead of the blue, it's still going up. And then we put the bands on, it's breaking out some more, and it's touching that line. You know? So we'll see. That's it for me because I gotta get going. Any last second questions, comments, concerns?
Nah, man,
Good.
I took notes.
Yeah. Hey, we need to just make a file for the ones that we chart, like the ones that we just think about and just see how they play out. We need to make like a separate thing for them just to see, you know what I'm saying, the results of them. So when we come to a Sunday and we pull them up, we can just see how they did.
Well, for the ones, what I do, I have a watch list called alerts. So as I chart it, I see a potential move, I set an alert for whatever that price is, and I put it on that watch list. So that alerts watch list will be the one that you're talking about. So if we all got our own, those will be the ones we keep checking them. Make sense?
I think I see what you're saying, you know, like have almost like a centralized base where it's like, you know, you got your like I have like 4 or 5 of them that I already charted myself. I'm able to pull out the Bollinger Bands and different things like that. And having like a centralized location where maybe I'll just take 5 screenshots and I'll throw them in like, yo, here's my chart. Here's what looks good, and that way people can kind of see, oh, all right, bet he's looking at Stewart Packard. Now let me see, oh shit, oh snap, and he charted it for me already. Cool. Like, is that what you're talking about, right? Or no?
Yeah, that's what I'm referring to.
So
I mean, we all doing plays. We all, because eventually, I mean, that's what we said we was going to do anyway. And we could all come to Sunday with 5 or, you know, at least 5 stocks already charted or whatever. But if we already throw them, I mean, and that's what the tracker is for too, I know. But
that's what I was going to say. Put them on the tracker.
okay.
I think for me, it's like we'll walk through the examples and we'll get the charts, and you guys identify stocks and you do the whole charting. And then I gotta go back and be like, oh no, I'm gonna go back to the stock and do my own charting and see. Versus it just being like, yo, just take a screenshot of that real quick, throw it in a file, and that way I don't have to chart that.
So I'll write it down and then just put it in the group chat, and I can see the screenshots.
Yeah. Let's do like
I think it's good practice. You chart it yourself and then compare it to the one we did together to see if they match.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So just let me know which ones. I'll screenshot it and drop it in the chat.
All right, good.
All right.
Oh, G said we can, I don't know, we can easily drop something.
On
Put it,
Google Drive.
put it in the shit.
Yeah, that ain't nothing. Yeah, that ain't nothing. We will all have to do it on our own and share each folder with each other. We don't got to figure that out in the chat.
Yeah, for sure.
Let's take a screenshot.
I think like G said though, it's good practice. You know what I'm saying? So like if people do their charts or whatever and kind of save them, whether it's a screenshot or whatever, it's like being able to chart it quickly. Like the more you chart it, like so when we come on here, we should be able to chart it and show people how we're doing it. And because having it saved is popping for yourself, so you can see. But like for people that don't know how to chart or charting, you know what I'm saying? Like the more you do it, and if you're doing it in front of somebody, they can kind of figure out how to chart. But I agree with Ray. Like having them joints already is popping.
All All right, let's do it. And you know, drop the screenshot, and we can figure out how to organize. Bye, fellas. Appreciate y'all.
No doubt.
All right, y'all.
All right, my guys.
All right, yo.
Ciao.
We are on DraftKings.
See.